stuff. It's not like, a modeling block of like 22-year-old white dudes, which, I was a wee 22-year-old white dude when I moved here. But it's much more diverse that shows people actually, in practice that this looks like a comparable. So, an example, we did 100 people at Workfest last year, 200 of those were kids. So there's a lot of families and kids growing up, etc. The other thing to your point about the messaging, from the very beginning, the students are very explicit about no violence, no racism, no bigotry. Yeah, absolutely. To get the, the broader mix of what we're talking about. Another thing about that is, most of the people who are here right now is for Yankees. We don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter your sexual orientation. We've always been pretty open to it, even if, there's been social conservatism kind of lasted for a while. There's a lot less of that around here. We care more about, who you are as a person rather than what you are as your identity. The identity politics stuff that the left tries to peddle wherever else just doesn't fly here the same way. Just doesn't. So, I think that's another reason why, it's so incredibly diverse in terms of the people who move here. It's just because the general culture in the state prior to the FSP choosing this place was very much, I would say, classically liberal in the sense that, people don't care what you are, they care who you are. So what's interesting about that is that also, I think that we have managed to create a culture of doers. So it's people who are actually getting stuff done. They're actually successfully running for office. They're doing the political advocacy. They're actually starting businesses. They're actually raising their kids. And I think that means that there's less of the sort of archetypal, stereotypical, basement living, tasty, Facebook troll, and more of the, the actual problems of people who are, doing things from all walks of life and doing all those different activities that you can't do in life. Well, that's, and also again, I'm going to get through one second really quick. I think that a big part of that is again that the opportunity to sustain working ways to express, your ideas about politics in a positive way. Like I remember being in New York a lot for the Ron Paul stuff in 2007 before we moved here, and the people in New York, like New York libertarians, are like the hardest core of the hardest core libertarians, because you're in like this adversarial zone where you're like, oh my god, I live amongst the enemy and I have to define myself against them. Whereas here, like, you can kind of create your own identity that cares about freedom, and you don't have to rely on pushing back against like, this authoritarian order that's all around you. So that's really positive. I'm sorry.
So, question for Matt: how many people have actually moved to New Hampshire as part of the program?
Our counts, I don't know, it's somewhere around just coming up on 2,100. And that may or may not include people who moved and left. Sometimes we know about it and cross them off, sometimes we don't. Lots of people move and we don't find out until years later or whatever. So it's somewhere in that ballpark. And then the number, I don't know the number of people who already lived here, they didn't move, but every year they signed basically the same, pledge to create a society that respects local government as a production of individuals' rights to life and property. It's about 26 and change, 26 50s. I was going to say Marcus Blake, which was just like at a session and immediately blowing up all the monuments.
And just sort of touches on something that both Brink and Caleb had mentioned about, there's in a lot of the states, there's the attitude of we don't care what you are, just don't be a complete asshole. But yet, let's talk about the element in the room, and that would be the western part of the state, where it's been described a lot like Pleasantville, to where the natives don't like the fact that people are saying, hey, it doesn't have to be black and white. Here's all different kinds of colors, and life can be wonderful and rosy if you just aren't a xenophobe. So, any thoughts on the sort of hidden xenophobia? And part of it, Matt talked about with the Granite State Progress people, saying MSD is horrible because they're moving here and they're different.
Okay. Well, as a native and understanding that there is some xenophobia that exists, that xenophobia, from what I've experienced, is more so based on where you come from. And it has much less to do with the color of your skin or your religious affiliation or your political affiliation. I mean, to some extent, political affiliation has become an issue of controversy as of late. But it has a lot to do with, like, if you're from Massachusetts, no. Like, there are a bunch of people from New Hampshire that just don't want any assholes moving up. And I get that. Honestly, please don't bring your socialism here. That's my personal view. But to some extent, there is this xenophobia from the surrounding states or from other areas that are just not Yankee enough for New Hampshire. And I've been a personal witness to some of the xenophobic moments where I've been in rooms with people from either Western Hillsborough County or from the West who are really xenophobic, like the Milford area. Doesn't matter. You can be a Democrat or a Republican, and you find out someone's from like New York or New Jersey, and you're just like, oh, you don't belong here.
It's even like the country people.
Yeah,
like the southern.
It's already Massachusetts. Right, exactly. There are a bunch of people from like Coos County, Grafton, and Carroll, and all those places up beyond the lakes and in the mountains and whatnot that just think that Hillsborough and Rockingham might as well just be Massachusetts, and that they wouldn't even shed a tear if we just like annexed to Mass. And that's totally wrong. I mean, the thing is, there are a lot of people who move out from Massachusetts to escape the socialist hellscape. If you look at all of the border towns from Hudson all the way over to like Atkinson, Plastow area, all of those towns are solidly Republican, and there's a reason for that. And not to say that I like all of the things that they support, but it's a bunch of refugees from Massachusetts that have come up and settled in these towns right on the border to be close to their families back home, who don't like all the crazy leftists in Massachusetts. And now I happen to agree with some of the crazy leftists on issues like war and all those things, but a lot of them also feel that same way. They're anti-war. They are socially progressive to the point where like most Yankees, they don't care what you are, they care who you are, and they resist that kind of progressive identity politics BS. And I think that is more so what the xenophobia is based around. They don't want people coming here who are themselves not xenophobic. They're not afraid of outsiders, so to speak. They're afraid of people who just don't share the live free or die mentality. And I think that's actually kind of a good thing. To be perfectly honest, I would much rather have people who are xenophobic based on that principle of we don't want you coming here if you're here to just ruin what we've got going on. And granted, like I stated earlier, it really doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Out in Western New Hampshire, you have Democrats who are pro-gun. What other state in the country do you know where you have a significant number of Democrats that are pro-gun? Like, gone up to gun shows in Cheshire County where there have been groups of Democrats that are pro-gun who that doesn't exist in many other places. So just stuff like that. The xenophobia is more so about the way of life, not about your religious affiliation, color of your skin, and even a lot of times not about your political affiliation. So
I think that there's a couple different things to like unpack with what xenophobia is. I've not been asked where I'm from once. You've been from? Yeah, I think I'm from. But I don't know. And I think that a big part of like how people perceive is also like how much you upset the poor outside of the general social expectations of people from that area. So for example, in Keene, there have been a lot more big Yankee. Like, probably what's her name still. But that's changing, and there's different parts of the state that there are those dollars for that. And I think that in particular, I'm trying to answer because you said Western New Hampshire, I think in particular that's a very small town area where it is a lot like Pleasantville, and they like it like Pleasantville, and that's why they moved there. So, I mean, you have to be aware of your surroundings when you're doing stuff, or else you're going to piss off the locals, and that's like just a fact like everywhere. But I don't think that's like a defining factor of New Hampshire or anything. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say we're about out of time. So, you want to ask more?
Yeah, one more question. I just want to talk about the proportion of people that signed up that haven't actually moved yet. So I want to talk about some of the reluctance for people to actually move. You know, like you said, it's a lot to ask for. People have to uproot themselves, uproot their homes and businesses, things like that. So what kind of community and resources and networking can we do to help those people kind of find a place? New Hampshire's a big state. Which part of the state do I throw a dart and move? How do I find people to integrate into the community with?
So part of the Free State Project's strategy for Achievement Mission is around mover support. And so it's helping people pick a location they want to move to. Well, I can actually get them there, helping get socially integrated socially, helping get connected to some kind of activism that they might be interested in, helping them find a job. We're about to launch a leadership training initiative that will start sometime in July. But in terms of how that is actually affected or coordinated, a lot of it, for better or worse, happens on Facebook. So somebody will post in the Free State Project group or somewhere else and say, hey, I'm thinking about moving, or I just moved, what do I do? And so there's a bunch of people sort of, tag on and say, here, Chris Lopez, who's our amazing one of our admins for FSP, will connect with them and say, hey, I'd like to send you more information, I'd like to get you connected, set you up with a welcome, make sure we know when you're moving, and get you help unload your U-Haul van and all that. Outside of Facebook, it happens a little less. Some of our activists are sort of sounding overly dependent on Facebook, which I think is a valid and concerning to have. There's probably certain classes of industries or jobs or whatever that are easier or harder for people to get connected to. Like if you want to move your business here, it depends on where you're coming from. We do have business taxes here still, so that's like a thing you deal with. If you're a tech worker, awesome, we've got 3,000 open tech jobs here in New Hampshire, and generally the lowest unemployment rate in the country. But if you are a tech employer and you want to move your business here, well, then you got to go compete with not only all the other tech companies in New Hampshire, but also all of Boston, the Boston orbit of tech companies. A lot of people live in New Hampshire and commute down. In fact, the sort of cliche joke that the largest employer in New Hampshire is Massachusetts. So yes, there's some challenges there. The Free State Project itself, mostly deals with information, so it's about sort of connecting, giving people information they need, and then also kind of networking them, connecting them to other existing activists who already live here to help them get situated and get land on hit the ground running. There's a lot of things that are not the FSP itself they're doing that are community driven, like Shop Calendar, Returns Porcupines, there's the New Movers Party is technically not a Free State Project official event, that's just a community driven thing. We're starting to get multiples of those now through other different areas. So there's a very 23 in some ways too. And this gets back to sort of the original, my original comment, which is we do a ton of stuff, we do a ton of activism, we are community very integrated into the community. A lot of that organization happens very organically, just with people sort of jumping in and saying, oh, you're New Mover, great, kind of nobody this, that, the other thing. Do you guys want to jump into that, or should we go ahead and wrap it up?
Thanks guys for sitting here and giving some questions.
And if anyone is watching this and wants to know more, our website is freestateproject.org, or you can also email help@fsp.org or hop on Facebook and search for Free State Project. And also you can donate to the Annie Larry Lines at any
Libertarian State Leadership Alliance presents our 2017 National Conference, The Future of the Libertarian Political Movement. In this video, End the Surveillance State with Larry Sharpe, Angela Keaton, and George Phillies. In any event, I'm George Phillies, and this is the panel on End the Surveillance State. And I have with me two panelists, Angela Keaton and Larry Sharpe. So I will let them introduce themselves first. First, Angela.
I'm Angela. I'm at antiwar.com, and I don't like killing people.
I'm Larry Sharpe, and I also don't like killing people. And on top of that, I don't like paying people to kill people, or authorizing people to kill people, or paying taxes to kill people, or any of those things. I would rather not kill people. But more importantly, this is going to sound crazy, the people who die, their pain and suffering is over. I'm actually more concerned with people that be punished and in prison and surveilled and ruin their lives and stop them from traveling and break their families up and imprison them. Actually more because they're suffering thieves.
And I'm George Phillies, and I have been editor of Liberty for America. I have been state chair of my party, and I'm currently national chair of the Libertarian State Leadership Association, the State Chair's Party Club. Having said that, what is the surveillance state? And I'll give two examples. One goes back over a decade. This fellow who worked at AT&T pointed out that the federal government had gone into all the major AT&T switching centers. This is also true for most of the other phone providers. And phone signals these days are sent as light signals, not as electrical signals of copper wire. They drop what is known as a beam splitter. This is just a slightly reflecting mirror into the light beam. And so most of the light went through, so your phone calls went through. And some of it went this way, and the government was recording all the phone calls in the United States. And people sort of ignored that until we advanced to the future, and we reached Edward Snowden. Mr. Snowden, of course, is the greatest living American patriot. He gave up everything to protect our country. And with some luck, he eventually succeeded. And what he pointed out was the federal government was recording all of our phone calls, all of our internet messages, all of our credit card transactions, all of our bank transactions, and they were also picking up all the social media messages, Facebook and all that other good stuff. Facebook and friends all said, oh no, the government does not have physical access to our servers. Well, that was literally true. The government had no particular interest in funneling sealed boxes. They didn't want physical access to the servers. They simply wanted a copy of all of the messages which they were getting. And that's the surveillance state. So we can discuss various ways the surveillance state is bad. It's a little different than the warfare state, which is concerned with going to strange foreign countries, meeting interesting foreign people, and blowing them to smithereens. But this one is concerned with going to America and treating us as if we were residents of some communist or Nazi country. Well, the truth of the matter is, those other places had spy operations, interdomestic ones, that were a complete bunch of amateurs by comparison with our American spy agencies. Angela.
I always like to open with a quote. This is from Roger Silver in The Power of Narrative Blog. If you haven't gotten familiar with this blog, it's one of the best anti-imperialist writing I've ever read on the net. He said, the state has no secrets whatsoever that is direct protection and disclosure. None. The state doesn't have the right to privacy. We do as individuals, and it's not just an assault on what we think of as civil liberties, but the very essence of being an adult is to have privacy and have boundaries. We talk about psychobiology and having boundaries. It's impossible to have normally healthy psychological boundaries under a surveillance state. I can talk a little bit more about this when I talk about the anti-war.com's case against the FBI.
I want to bring up a specific situation. The surveillance state does something very well, is it makes all of us guilty of something. So where these people often think, well, if you're nothing to hide, what are you worried about? The problem is we all have something to hide. There's thousands and thousands of laws, and I'm sure all of us have broken at least once. So once they target you, you go away. And when the worst part of the surveillance state is they have all the data, you don't. So what are they going to show a jury when they want to put you in jail? What are they going to show a grand jury? They decide to indict you or not. They're going to take lines of what you said, black out all context, and just put the bad words there. And when they put the bad words there, what's the jury say? Yes, we should convict him. Yes, guilty. How do we know that? I've been on actual working on teams that I've seen the government actually do that. Literally take the lines of whatever they took from someone's surveillance, black out everything that would in any context whatsoever. Just show the scary words. Guilty. That happens all the time. We think we don't care. But what happens when it's you? What happens when the government decides you're a bad guy or a bad gal for some reason? All the surveillance they have, they will cherry pick what they think is bad. They will show that to whoever they're going to decide is going to put you away, or put you on a list, or stop you from buying a gun, or stop you from flying, or put you in jail, or take away your home, or take away your children, or whatever is the next step. The surveillance state allows that to happen. So when you get targeted, you are guilty. And when you're targeted, your peers will take away your property, your life, your liberty, and your family.
What is probably the most dangerous thing that surveillance state has done, though? There is a meme, and I'm quite sure it was originally generated someplace in Langley or wherever, and now it's being put out by fellow travelers and useful idiots and stooges. And the line is, why should I care? I'm not doing anything wrong. Well, there's another piece to that beyond what Larry mentioned, and the piece of that is, well, you may think you're not doing anything wrong, but let's consider a few examples here. You're up for promotion at a job. Your competitor is Clement Doofus, who's managed not to get himself fired. Unfortunately, there's a little difficulty. The surveillance state has a good 100 or 200,000 employees. You count all of their immediate relatives, parents, children, and such not, and we're up to 1 or 2 million. You count all of their close friends who know someone is on in one of these groups, and we're now up to 10 or 20 million, and they see if they can get a favor done. And you're up against Clement Doofus, who is completely incompetent, except the guy making the decision had a motivational phone call. He'll promote Clement Doofus, and his phone mysteriously turned on. Unfortunately, it mysteriously turned on in the motel room where he was having the affair with the hot babe in accounting. And if the photographs will not turn up on his phone, they will turn up in his wife's phone, so he'd like to promote Clement. And then, of course, there are people like me. How many of us here are in the investor class, way before investors at all? Yes. Well, consider, you test yourself against Warren Buffett, you're not quite as good, but almost. Except when you go to invest mysteriously, the stuff you were going to invest in, the price is drifted up well before you invested. And when time comes to sell, the price has gone down again because people were selling. And the reason is, we have the surveillance state, and it's the world's greatest source of inside information. You don't have to wonder what Warren Buffett is going to buy. You can listen to his phone calls with his advisors and know the truth. Now, to a certain extent, the surveillance state has actually been honest about this. Namely, they have a special investigatory team which checks up on people who are using the vast surveillance state to see if their wives were cheating on them, or their girlfriends have other boyfriends, or vice versa, or whatever. You see what's going on? And the last bit, of course, is some people have children. And the children sometimes do things they shouldn't. And they have cell phones where they are stupid enough to photograph themselves, but it goes up encrypted onto the cloud. That's the encryption written in Langley. And suddenly you get this phone call. Here's what your kid was doing. It was very bad. We have this list of other things, some of which you didn't know about. We'll make you a deal. You'll put the kid in this very expensive military school, which happens to be run by a really good 2-star general. He was really good. Namely, he was a great friend of the agency for many years. And in return, will make everything disappear. That's what the surveillance state needs. It doesn't have to be smart on, you don't have to be doing anything wrong. It's still your enemy. We'll come to fake cases and Zod rhymes with General Zod in a bit. But now, Larry, take us next.
Oh, my next. There we go. I know that is me. The other thing that I'm concerned about here when it comes to surveillance state is that it basically says it's okay for people to be prosecuted for crimes. And that information. There has been no victim. Nothing's been done. It's an excuse to prosecute for crimes. It puts you on. The surveillance state isn't just looking at you through, telescope or listening to your phone calls. It's also that you have people physically following you, right? Physically following around and being on a list. The listing scares me tremendously because if I'm a bureaucrat, now I'm talking to people on a list. And the list is people who might be bad, do something wrong. And the general Gary might be should be they're not. I'm not sure. I know what you think I'm saying. The general rule should be on that list or not. I'm a bureaucrat. I'm not sure. Who do I care? Who cares? Always. He's on that list. Of course I put on that list. I don't think. Why? Because if he does something wrong, my job is now free. I'm the one who gets fired. So of course I'm putting him on that list. If there's any chance he could he's on that list. So now once he's on that list, he says, no, I should be on that list. I can talk to you. Why? Yeah. So I can't talk to him. Nobody can talk to us because he's on the list. He's now a bad guy. So we're putting tons of people on these lists just because we are. We're stopping people from traveling, stopping people from buying weapons. We're stopping people from having lives based upon, well, they might be a bad guy. And the biggest problem this all comes from the war on terror, the war on drugs, the war on something. What is a war on something? I can do whatever I can to protect the people. And when they always talk about, I have to have surveillance, I have to have this because I have to save people. Here's the thing, that be clear on. Every single executive since 9/11 said, my number one job is protecting the American people. Nowhere in their oath was that. I know, I'm a veteran, I have the same oath. The oath is support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's what the oath is. It's not to protect every single American. That's not what we're supposed to do. Now, what anyone's supposed to do. In our perfect world, in our imaginary world, we're supposed to be. The government actually, the people, the president, actually protects the Constitution. The Constitution protects our rights, so we do it ourselves. That's how it's supposed to happen. But we decided to lose our rights. Lose our rights for the same reason. It's the same reason every time. Fear. The more we are afraid, the more rights we'll lose. The more we are afraid, the more we will begin to lose and put ourselves in a cage. Remember, we allow this to happen. Right? So we're allowing the government to put us into it because we're afraid.
Bad guy. I woke it up. In 2011, we learned that antiwar.com had been under some kind of surveillance since roughly 2002. There's a long series of events, and only recently, and I mean recently, in my last month, as part of the case they resolved, the ACLU, to their credit, spent a significant amount of money fighting on behalf of the